Hey everybody, welcome to your April in service. This is Jessica McKeon. I'm the Fixed Site Director in C1, and I hope that this video finds you well. It's a beautiful day here in Wisconsin. I think spring is finally here. I'm not entirely sure because it'll probably start snowing at any moment, but I'm hopeful. So I wanted to take a few moments and go over a couple of things with you. And the first of these is Engage. So the Engage survey is going to be coming very soon, and the dates of it run from May 6th until May 20th. And for those of you who are new, the Engage survey is a confidential way for you to provide feedback on management and to management about how things are going. So it gives you the opportunity to review your direct supervisor, provide feedback on senior management, and essentially just give us a feel of the climate in your area and what we can do in order to better help serve you moving forward. So we're aiming for 100% participation this year. We really do want to hear it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it may be. And it really is confidential. So please, 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 between May 6th and May 20th, take the time to go in, provide us your feedback, and we'll take that to heart moving forward. Your supervisors and managers are busy coordinating coffee hours for each of the sites so that you can go in, complete the survey, have coffee, have donuts, essentially have kind of a nice environment to complete that. And then for any site who actually achieves 100% participation, we're going to be providing a pizza party for you. So I hope that that shows you that we really do want your honest, thorough feedback. There will be a link at the end for open comments usually. And if you provide a free text comment, that will only be provided to your supervisor if we get a certain number of them. So there's no way for us to tell who wrote what. So the other thing that I wanted to clarify that it seems like there's always some confusion around is when you're reviewing your supervisor and it asks for feedback on a supervisor, that's your direct supervisor. So that would be your team supervisor if you're a line staff, or if you're team supervisor, that would be your manager. So hopefully that helps. And yes, my cats are playing in the background, sorry. I also wanted to go over a couple of the things that we did this last year, just to remind you of the feedback, the things that we did in response to the feedback that we got from the last Engage survey. So we have some birthday pins. Hopefully if you've had a birthday, you've received these. It started last July. And they're kind of fun. We're going through and we're making these limited edition. So this year we're creating a new birthday pin that will start in July that will go out to those of you with birthdays. And we're asking for any sort of designs that you have so that we can incorporate those and pick a fun one so that they change each year. We also have the cookbook. Sorry, it's a little shiny. And this was created, Sydney Arbor, our wonderful administrative assistant, put this together. And it's full of different recipes that were submitted by donors and by staff in the Central Division. And if you actually put in a recipe, you received a copy of the cookbook. So we think that was kind of a fun thing to do, and we're doing a version 2 that will be coming your way soon. So if you want to participate in that, we encourage you to. We also have a newsletter that's being created quarterly. And the reason we started that was because of your feedback from the Engage survey that said that you don't really have, you don't feel a connection with some other departments or with senior leadership. And so one of the things that's been featured in that newsletter is different bios from different departments or people. So far we've had a bio from Darlene Morris, who is in the Northern Ohio Manufacturing Lab, to give a little bit of a better idea of what they do in that department. The last newsletter we had Risa Baltes, who is the head of donor engagement. So we're hoping that as we move forward, we'll have more and more different articles in there that are interesting to you. So please, send me feedback, send Sydney Arbor feedback of what you'd like to see in there, and we're more than happy to gather some information because we want it to be helpful and useful for you, but also kind of fun as well. One of the other things that came out of the Engage survey was for these videos made by me to be a little more project oriented. So a little less focused on metrics, because you obviously hear a lot about your metrics in other venues, and to focus more on the different things that are going on in the Red Cross. So we started those recently, and I hope that you're finding them helpful. And as always, if you have certain ideas or certain topics that you'd like me to cover, just shoot me an email. Jessica.mckeon@redcross.org, and I'd be happy to cover them in the future. All right, so again, Engage, May 6th through May 20th. Please, please, please go in, provide your feedback. We would love to hear from you. All right, the second thing that I wanted to cover with you is the FY22 plan. So that's the fiscal year 2022 plan. You've probably heard a little bit about this, and you'll hear more and more and more about it as we go forward. But essentially, this is a way for the Red Cross to become a low-cost producer. So for a long time, we talked about being a low-cost provider of blood. And that came with a lot of downsides. And we didn't have high revenue. We had high costs because we would basically do anything in order to provide blood for a low cost. And that's not a good way to do business. It's not sustainable. And so we're moving forward, we're going to be moving towards a low-cost producer status. And that means that we're going to collect blood, platelets, plasma. We're going to try and collect it for a lower cost, but sell it for what it's worth. So there's a lot of things that come with that in order for the Red Cross to be more sustainable. And you're going to be hearing a lot about different work streams. And there was an email that was sent out on April 1st from the American Red Cross into your work emails that if you'd like some more information about that, you can go into your email, read that. There's links and a lot more information than I'm going to provide here. But I did want to give you a high-level overview of what's going on because it's a really big deal for us. So we're going to be focusing on 5 things, and those are mission, money, people, team, and reputation. So you're going to be hearing a lot about those over the coming years. And in order to do that, there's 7 different work streams that are going to be focusing on specific things in order to focus on the mission, money, people, team, and reputation. And in that way, they're going to get us to the low-cost producer. So the first of these is improving blood drive productivity. And this work stream is going to be coming up with a new operating model to increase productivity and reduce costs. The second work stream is optimizing geographic costs. Essentially, that one's going to look at where it makes sense to collect. There may be some areas where we're sending blood drives, 3 hours away to collect 10 units, and that may not make sense. So there's a bunch of pilots going on and a bunch of work going on behind the scenes in certain areas of the country to focus on where exactly it makes sense for us to collect. The third work stream is focusing on reducing supply chain costs. And this one is looking at a myriad of different things, but some of the main things are excess vehicles. There's some areas that we don't need as many vehicles as we have, and maybe it makes sense for us to reallocate those or sell them. We also need to look at reducing product loss and optimizing our travel costs. So there's a few other things that group is looking at, but those are kind of the main ones. The fourth work stream is reimagining recruitment. So as many of you may have noticed, the way that we reach donors and the way that we recruit and retain blood sponsors needs to change because people don't answer their phone anymore. So there's some different things that are being looked at there in order to ensure that we have the best sponsors for our blood drives and that we retain them and help to build those really productive drives. And then that also goes over to our donors in the fixed sites, ensuring that we're able to increase our donor base, retain our donors, and all that good stuff. The fifth work stream is working on increasing pricing and revenue. So you've probably heard a little bit about that we are increasing the costs of some of our products to the hospitals. So there will be more on that coming out. The sixth work stream is working on realigning the biomed organizational structure. And we're looking at geographic and new business operating models for that. So there will be some updates as we go forward on that. I don't have a lot of information on that at the moment, but some things we want to ensure that we are doing everything that we can in order to support this new business model. And the way that we're organized as biomedical services is one of the things that we need to look at. The seventh and final work stream is called Developing Bold Ideas. And this is one that I'm really excited about because there is an opportunity for all of you to provide feedback on where we can basically see the most bang for our buck. If there's certain areas that you know that we can work on or change in order to increase revenue, we need to know that. And so there's actually a complete work stream working on great ideas that are brought forward by people all across the organization to ensure that we're maximizing our revenue and cutting costs. So there's more information in that email that I referenced that came out on April 1st. So go in there, take a look. If you guys have great ideas, you can email me, you can email your manager, or you can email this group. We're open to the feedback, and basically we're looking anywhere in the organization for those really great, bold ideas. So that is the last work stream, but I just wanted to touch briefly upon that. There's a lot of really interesting things that are going on right now. We're trying to be open, honest, and transparent about everything and sharing information as we can. So I just wanted to ensure that you heard that from me and essentially just a heads up of what's to come. So that's all I've got. I hope you guys all have a wonderful April. Remember, please, to go in May and complete that Engage survey. And I'll see you again in June. Thanks.